The more Johnny Depp talks about his relationship with his ex-wife Amber Heard, the more we begin to realize that this marriage was doomed to fail from the very beginning. For starters, let's go back to their wedding in 2015 and pick that apart for a moment. A court on Wednesday got to hear Johnny Depp testify that his and Amber's wedding had dinner, dancing, and all scheduled on the itinerary. Depp testified that there were a number of people at his wedding partaking in the latter, specifically MDMA, also known as ecstasy or malt. The wedding took place in LA in February in 2015, and prior to, Depp said that a schedule was written, printed, and sent out so that all of the guests would know about the debauchery that was going to take place that night. When asked though who exactly was partaking in the portion of the evening, Depp said that Amber, a couple friends of his, and a few other people. He then added that all of her gang though were partaking in the consumption of MDMA. Depp then was asked if he had taken any that day, and in response he said, "To be honest with you, I don't know how much MDMA they had, but for me for me to have taken MDMA would have been a waste of the if you understand what I mean. It would have been essentially taking someone else's high because it wouldn't have an effect on me." Throughout all of Johnny's testimony though, Amber remained very stone-faced and clearly was aware of the multiple cameras that were locked on her every reaction. At some point she even looked squarely at the camera almost lifelessly, staring into the lens for minutes at a time. And some networks even had split camera on Depp and hers so that you didn't miss a single reaction to what was being said. Continuing on though, Depp was asked again to answer which he had consumed, and he responded with, "I smoked and I don't remember drinking. I don't remember that I was drinking then. I'm pretty positive at that point I wasn't partaking in alcohol. My drug choice is marijuana. That was fine for me. So dipping into a little tiny baggie of licking your finger and dipping it into a tiny communal bag of MDMA, it was pointless for me." During the second day of his testimony in Fairfax, Virginia, Depp also stated that his daughter Lily Rose Depp had not attended his wedding to Heard. He said that she and Miss Heard were not on particularly great terms for several reasons. However, he did neglect to list those reasons. After detailing their early romance during his testimony, Depp also returned to the witness stand to describe how Amber's behavior had changed dramatically from the time that they got married. The couple would also have frequent arguments that included demeaning name-calling and bullying by Miss Heard. He also stated that the claims Heard made 6 years ago are not based in any species of truth. He went on to say, "Through my relationship there were arguments and things of that nature, but never did I myself reach the point of striking Miss Heard in any way, nor have I ever struck any woman in my life. It was a complete shock that it just didn't need to go in that direction." He then reflected on how the news of Amber's accusations permeated the industry and made its way through social media on a global level. He adds, "Since I knew there was no truth to it whatsoever, I felt it was my responsibility to stand up for myself, not only in that instance, but to stand up for my children, who at the time were 14 and 16, so they were in high school. I thought it was diabolical that my children would have to go to school and have their friends or people in the school approach them with the infamous People magazine cover with Miss Heard with a dark bruise on her face." Now, a lot of people though wanted to know, why would Johnny Depp stay with Amber Heard if she was in fact just hitting him on the regular? And in response to that he said, "I stayed, I suppose, because my father stayed. I suppose because I had been in that relationship with Vanessa Paradis that was lost. I didn't want to fail. I wanted to try to make it work. I thought maybe I could help her. I thought maybe I could bring her around. The Amber Heard that I knew for the first year and a half was not this opponent. It wasn't my girl. She'd become my opponent. Everything I did, she didn't accept it. I stayed because, of course, I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to hurt anyone, especially Miss Heard. I didn't want to break her heart." He also said that in addition to that, Amber would also threaten to take her own life if he were to leave. He goes on to say, "Many times when I would try to leave, she would stop me at the elevator with the security guards crying and screaming, saying, 'I can't live without you, I'm gonna die.' She had to get out." Depp also alleged that on a number of occasions he would manage to escape the home, but that she would inevitably arrive in front of his house screaming to the high heavens in the car park, sometimes in the early hours in the morning. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this though, because that's all the time we have for today. So stay classy, and I'll see you on the next one.